Hi, you guys. It's Yaz, and today I'm going to talk about the biggest proof that narcissists are filled with demonic spirits. And narcissists do have demonic spirits within themselves. And I'm going to give you the biggest proof of why a narcissist is demonic, okay? We know the basic tactics of the narcissist. They're manipulators, they're deceivers, they're all about lies. Their father is Satan, the father of all lies. But one of the things that shows you that narcissists are demonic, that they are filled with, all these kind of evil spirits within themselves, is that narcissists do not like peace. Narcissists thrive on chaos. They thrive on confusion. Who else thrives on confusion? Satan thrives on confusion, okay? This is how Satan is able to manipulate God's people, is by confusing them, by breaking down their spirit. So narcissists, they don't like peace at all. When you deal with a narcissist, you're always going to have fights, you're going to have upheaval, you're going to have unhappiness. And why is that? Because the narcissist themselves is a very unhappy person, okay? People don't realize this because the narcissist puts on a good front. They try to appear like their life is great, they're happy. They post on social media how wonderful everything is. They want other people to envy them, okay? So they put on an image that is the exact image of who they are or what they feel. They don't like peace also because narcissists can't control peace. They can control chaos, but they cannot control peace, all right? Because a lot of times narcissists thrive in chaos because they want to feel the power of controlling that chaos. Like I said, they cannot control peace, all right? Plus, they don't like peace because peace is boring. Peace doesn't give them a rise. So they will disturb your peace. And the irony in all of this is narcissists are always saying, oh, I'm not about the drama. I don't do drama. Just so you know, I don't do drama. When a narcissist says that, they're basically saying the opposite. I do drama, just so you know, okay? So part of demonic spirits is to cause upheaval, to, cause war, to cause chaos, and to break down people. This is the whole intent of a demonic spirit, is to break someone down, okay? Break their strength, break their faith in God, break their spirit, break their soul. So what a narcissist wants to do is, by creating all of this chaos, they want to break you. This is what the narcissist wants. They want to break you. And it's because generally you're a good person. You're a good person with a good heart that walks in the truth. You're a person that's not a liar. You pretty much follow God's laws because you're not a manipulator. You're not playing games. You're not about confusion. And they want to make you into them. This is what they do. And some narcissists actually turn people into demons. This is how a lot of narcissists are formed, okay? Because they were around other narcissistic parents that put them down, invalidated them, didn't give them love, okay? Maybe they came from a trauma home, maybe they didn't come from a trauma home. But even if they didn't come from a trauma home, I just want to point this out. Just because somebody may have grown up in an entitled type of household, maybe they were given everything, maybe they were told they're always right, okay? That does not equate to love and real validation, because a lot of times a parent may over-validate a child, and they want to win the child over by giving them a lot of material possessions, Okay, they buy them whatever they want. They tell them whatever they want to hear. But that is not real love that a child needs. And that's why a lot of these golden children, turn out narcissistic, because although they may have gotten what they always wanted, and maybe they were always told they were right and everything, they were over-validated, that still does not equate to the love and nurturing of a parent. This is what people don't realize. And they could have gotten that from one parent, and the other parent could have abandoned them, all right? This happens a lot maybe in a single parent household where the child comes out narcissistic, and you say, well, why did the child come out narcissistic? They had, the parent who was there for them, showing them, giving them everything, right? But that child may, deeply be missing that abandoned parent and feel that loss and may be angry and bitter inside and becomes narcissistic and says, you know what, life isn't fair. It's not fair that I never, for instance, had my father in my life, or he was not there for me. And so they feel like, well, if he was able to do and go and do what he wants, I'm going to go and do what I want. And the same could be if it was the mother. If she went and she abandoned the child, the child, even though they had the one parent that was doing everything for them, they may still feel that loss. That's why it's hard for a single parent sometimes, because you could do everything for a child, but that abandonment of that other parent really, leaves a scar with a child sometimes. So the point in all of this is that what happens is that's when demon spirits get into an individual and take them over to the dark side. And that's what happens to the narcissist. They go the dark side, okay? They don't walk the path of light. They don't walk the path of truth. They are into deception. They are into manipulation to get what they want. They don't do what's the right thing. They do what the right thing for them is, even if that means lying, cheating, stealing, killing, whatever it takes, all right? Because that's what a demon does, all right? A demon never trusted, Satan never ever, trusted God, never, he thought he was above God. And this is the way the narcissist is. They think that they are above God. They think that they could do whatever they want in this world. And they don't care about, other people. They don't care about a higher power, a higher spirit of what could happen to them. They're not worried about it. That's how you know they truly don't believe in God, you guys. They truly don't believe in God, because they are not a fear. They're not driven by the fear of God at all. All right. And generally, if somebody is not in fear of God, they're not a true believer of God. Okay. Because a true believer in God will always fear, not doing the right thing in God's eyes. But a narcissist has no fears of that. They do whatever, and they're not in fear of God. They're not a fear, type of mongering type of person. All right. So the proof is that the narcissist hates peace and they love chaos, just like the demon spirits of this world. All the unhappiness and wars and unrest is all driven by demonic spirits within individuals, okay? It's like a lion that will roar through the earth, all right? It's all amongst us, and this is the evil intent of these demonic spirits. Within these people is an evil intent to, feel superior, get over on other people, have no empathy. The real test of narcissism is how empathetic somebody is, all right? People talk all the time and they say, well, how do you know this person's a narcissist? We're all narcissistic. Yes, that's true. We all could have narcissistic tendencies as human beings, okay? As human beings, all right? We're born into sin. But, that's why you turn yourself over and, you walk in the light and you realize that, okay, we're born into sin, but we have to become reborn, so to speak, in order to save our souls And that's something that a narcissist never does, all right? Instead, they turn bitter, they turn cold, and they want to make everybody else's life a misery, okay? This is what a narcissist wants to do. They want to make everybody else miserable the way they're miserable because they're angry, they're bitter about how their lives have turned out, they feel cheated, all right? A lot of them feel cheated, and that's why they do what they do, because they feel entitled to do what they do because they feel they were cheated in life. And they also feel it's a survival tactic as well. This is how they survive, and they don't have any kind of empathy for any other people in the world. It's on a spectrum, you guys. So somebody could have a little bit of empathy and somebody could have zero empathy whatsoever. It depends on how narcissistic and how damaged this person is and, how demonic they have become. All right. So the thing is, narcissists, they will, that's another reason too. Also, I want to point out, that's another reason too. Narcissists do not want to resolve conflict, because in order to resolve conflict means that you have to take accountability. You have to face shame. Two things a narcissist never, ever wants to do, and especially if they don't have to do it. So what they will do is they will try to deflect from it. They'll put the shame on you, blame you. They will, stonewall you, run silent on you so that they could avoid that kind of shame and accountability. So you're never, ever resolving conflict with the narcissist, and they don't want to resolve conflict because they like chaos. They just like chaos because they thrive on, some of them are so sadistic, they thrive on other people's pain because they're in pain, and they're sadistic in the sense that they feel like they want you to torture, they want you to be unhappy and be tortured the way they're tortured inside themselves, the way that unhappiness within themselves. I spoke about this, almost 2 years ago. I spoke about the biggest weakness of the narcissist. I put out a reel on TikTok that went viral, almost 2 million hits on it, okay? Because it was so on point, and then it got copied by a lot of different people. But I was sitting around, when I did this reel, I was sitting around, I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about all these narcissists that I have dealt with in my life. And I said the one thing that runs through all of them is that they're very unhappy. They're very unhappy. They're never happy, never satisfied, and they thrive on chaos, okay? They thrive on chaos because they can control the chaos, all right? It makes them feel superior. See, when you're at peace with somebody, you're kind of like on an even keel with someone. But when you're in chaos with somebody, they have a reason to feel superior because they're putting you down. They're causing strife. They're putting you down, and they're not on the same level as you on a peaceful level, okay? Where things are calm, things are placid, everybody's getting along. Narcissists don't care about everybody getting along. Narcissists just care about feeling superior, getting that attention, getting that supply. And some of them are so, they're so unsettled within themselves that they want to make you unsettled. See, it's like this, you guys. A lot of people don't realize this. Narcissists are filled with anxiety and depression. They really are anxious people. They're a nervous wreck. And I've spoken about this in my reels. They're nervous wreck people. They can't just chill out and relax. They can't just let things go. And the end result of all that is they're going to make you a nervous wreck. That's why at the end of a relationship, you're going to therapy, you're popping pills, you're in a depression, you don't trust people, you don't want to go out, you never want to date again, because they have put all that anxiety and depression and dampened your outlook on life. This is what they do. This is how they destroy people's lives, because they take out the hope that you once had within yourself and they destroy that hope. Okay? And that, my friends, is how the demons destroy God's people, by making them lose their hope, making them lose their zest for life. You've got to fight through that. You've got to realize that you're dealing with a demon. You're dealing with somebody who's trying to break you, all right? And you, at the time when you're in it, you're not going to see it. It's not till you come out, you regain your strength, you educate yourself, you stay grounded in God and your spirituality, that you come back, okay? You come back and you fight back, and no, you're no longer going to doubt yourself, because you are going to walk in the truth. This is what you're going to do. You're going to walk in the truth, and you're not going to be swayed, and you're going to be focused, okay? Because now you have sound mind, okay? See, when the narcissist got with you, you may not have had that sound mind. You may have been vulnerable. You may have been going through something. You had other things going on. So your thinking was not of sound mind necessarily. Okay? Understand this. You didn't know the beast that you were dealing with. And that's why you come out of that and you've got to regain that power. Okay? How do I know? Because I was that person. I am speaking from experience. I am somebody who was scapegoated. I am someone who has dealt with narcissists my whole life, not just one relationship where I had one bad. No, my friends, I had multiple experiences with this, okay, all around the board. And it hit me and I dropped down low, okay? And I was in a state of depression and going into a black hole. And it wasn't till I got out of it, got away from these people, went no contact, that I started to see it for what it was, okay? And then my strength started to get stronger. And I always had faith in God to keep me strong and get through what I went through. I went through a lot of trauma, you guys. I don't even podcast about half the trauma I went through, all right? But I went through a lot of trauma. So, and I did it on my own. I didn't have that emotional support that most people would have. I didn't, okay? I had to go through it on my own. And if anything, it made me a stronger person. Like, people ask me, can you talk about the positives of this? Well, you are going to go through hell with the narcissist and you're going to hit rock bottom. But then if you're guided right, you're going to come back from it. Okay. And you're going to come back stronger than ever. Okay. Because let me tell you something. These narcissists can never, ever pull a wool over my eyes ever again, or play the games or disrespect me ever again, because I will never, ever tolerate it again. I will never, ever deal with them again. All right. Because now I have my power. I believe in myself. Now I know what it is. Now I see clearer, okay? I have sound mind now where I could see through people. You guys, I've been through so much pain, so much trauma that if anything, it has given me a gift where I believe I have the discernment where I could see through a lot of people, all right? I could tell you what these people are because I've experienced them and seen them my whole life, all right? That it's kind of like a gift that God gives you after dealing with such pain. You start to see the light and be able to see through people. All right. It's wisdom. It's experience. The only way you're going to know is from life experience, not from reading a textbook. Okay. The best education in life is life experience. All right. Because you'll see things that you won't necessarily, it's not seeing, living it, feeling it, breathing it is very different than reading about it. All right. That's for the people that say, well, you're not a doctor. That's right. I'm not a doctor, but I'm a person who lived through it. Okay. I'm a person who lived through it and can tell you more things that were never even written in a book. All right. So getting back on point, narcissists absolutely hate peace and demons hate peace. Narcissists are all about confusion. Demons are about confusion. Narcissists are all about deceit. All right. Demons are about deceit. Satan tried to deceive Jesus. All right. With his deception coming as, an angel of light when he wasn't. All right. And just like these narcissists they come as your friend. They don't come as your enemy. Remember that, you guys, through life. They come as your friend Be careful of these people. You have to vet them out, all right? And I'm going to drop a podcast all about this, how to vet them out, all right? But this is the proof that these people are filled with demonic spirits, because they're going to fill you, they're going to try to fill you with those demonic spirits. They're going to try to make you anxious, where you're falling apart. They're going to try to put you in a depression. They're going to try to get you to a point where you doubt yourself. They're going to make you think that you have mental problems. Not today, Satan. I know who the fuck I am, okay? And you're not going to play your games on me, because now I'm at a point where I could see right the fuck through you, all right? And you're not going to play any games on me, okay? Because now I put a whole full armor of God on me, and I could see through evil people that have evil intent. And that is the narcissist, who doesn't want to live in peace. They don't want to live in peace. They do everything they can to start problems for people. Okay. They have no heart, no empathy. They don't care who suffers along the line, because they're evil. They're evil. All right. They don't care about people's suffering. That shows you the lack of empathy. They don't care about people suffering, because if they did, they would want peace. But see, they don't want peace. They thrive on people's suffering because it makes them feel superior. And also because they're a very evil, wicked person that is miserable inside, and they want to make everybody else miserable, and they want to break everybody else's spirit on this earth, so that everybody turns away from God and has no faith and doesn't believe in God and says, you know what? There's no God in this world. There's no God in this world. That's what the narcissist wants. They want to break your spirit, break your faith in God. Don't let them do it, you guys. Understand the laws of life and understand that in this world, we're not in heaven here, okay? This is a test of your faith. And in this world, you're going to be coming across demonic spirits that are going to try to break you. All right. The spirit of lust, the spirit of anxiety, the spirit of drunkenness, all of this to try to break you and take you away from God and your path and the path that you're supposed to go on to end up in God's kingdom. Don't let these spirits, these demonic spirits, break you. All right. Distance yourself from this evil. Ooh, I went off on my preach today, you guys. I just got into it, okay? I hope that helps you understand, all right? If it does, hit the subscribe button, share the podcast. I'm about to be interrupted. I just want to wish everybody a happy Easter, happy Passover. You guys, I wish you guys all the peace in the world. I hope that my teachings have given you clarity, have helped you through your struggles. Understand this. You're a lot stronger than you realize, okay? This is what I have to say to you people out there that are struggling and listening to these narcissism podcast. You are a lot stronger than you realize. And that narcissist is going to fear you the moment that you realize it. You understand? That's why I'm telling you, stay grounded in God. Stay grounded in God and you will be okay, all right? I'm walking proof of this. So never, ever let that fear get into you, because that's what narcissists want to do. They want to instill fear in you, all right? Not today, Satan, all right? I know who I am. You're not putting fear in me, all right? Whew, I'm on my preach. So you guys, have a great Easter. Have a great Passover. Have a great holiday. I wish you all, happiness and peace. Also, if you're looking for coaching because you're dealing with some kind of struggle with a narcissist, you don't know if they're a narcissist, what kind of narcissist, check out my link in the bio at askyaz.wixsite.com/thegameexposed. You need clarity, you need advice, check it out, okay? Also, go to my YouTube. I have over 6,000 videos on my YouTube. Check it out, okay? I cover almost everything on there. TikTok is The Game Exposed. Instagram is The Game EXP123, and Facebook for now is The Game EXP777. And have a great day, you guys. Stay blessed.